Tesla and Solar City power a small island in American Samoa with nearly 100% solar energy. The chief executive of the UK's Office for Nuclear Regulation is determined to see more women enter the nuclear engineering workforce. And the managing editor of Hydro Review and HRW Hydro Review Worldwide joins me in the studio to discuss hydro workforce issues. It's Thursday, December 8th, and this is Power Today. Hello and welcome to Power Today for Thursday, December 8th. I'm Cassie Haley. We begin today's edition of Power Today in the islands of American Samoa, where the island of Tau just replaced its reliance on diesel with a solar power microgrid. Elon Musk's companies Tesla and Solar City provided Tau with almost 1.5 megawatts of sun-harvested electricity in the form of 5,328 solar panels and 60 Tesla power packs. Tau is the poster child for Tesla's Solar City acquisition, which shareholders recently approved and which seeks to revolutionize the solar power industry. The island is a small version of what Musk is inviting us to imagine on a larger scale, a Solar City solar panel farm alongside a Tesla power pack battery storage cluster. If a 17-square-mile island is easy, Tesla and Musk want us to consider what else is in reach. According to Solar City, this project is not a postcard from the future, it's a snapshot of what is possible right now. Until now, the island's 600-plus residents required almost 110,000 gallons of diesel per year, which had to be delivered by boat. The Samoan Islands are almost 5,000 miles away from California, so already prohibitive diesel prices grew absurd. According to Solar City's blog, the Tesla Solar City microgrid can power Tau for up to 3 days without sun and recharges to full capacity in just 7 sunlit hours. The island is now nearly 100% reliant on renewable energy. In other power news, Adrienne Kelby, the chief executive of the UK's Office for Nuclear Regulation, says she is determined to see more women enter the nuclear engineering workforce, especially as the UK embarks on what has been labeled a nuclear renaissance. She recently said, "It is fundamentally unacceptable to me that only a fifth of the nuclear workforce are women." Speaking at the Nuclear Industry Association's conference in London recently, Kelby said she was eager to meet the challenges ahead as the UK looks to build a new fleet of nuclear reactors. And in a bid to bring more women into the nuclear decision-making process, she urged the board members of all the companies at the conference to bring one more chair to the table. The call for more women in the nuclear industry was again addressed by Joanna Wolf, chief executive of Cogent Skills, a strategic body promoting careers in the science industries. She said that young women needed to see more role models in the nuclear industry and looked forward to the day when we get to the situation when the question of women in nuclear is not asked anymore. You can find more on this story and other power news and information from around the globe at powerengineeringint.com. We're going to take a short break. When Power Today returns, the managing editor of Hydro Review and HRW Hydro Review Worldwide joins me in the studio. Inside the Industry is up next. Stay with us. From December 13th through 15th, thousands will be in Orlando for the largest power industry show in the world, PowerGen International 2016. Hello, I'm Cassie Haley, host of the daily power news and information show, Power Today, and I'm here to tell you about a great way to get your message to the PowerGen audience. At this year's show, I'll be conducting content interviews with a select group of companies and thought leaders who recognize the importance of video in marketing their message. These one-on-one interviews will be featured on Power Today and will then be made available to use in any way you'd like. Power Today airs daily across a broad variety of Penwell sites, including Power Engineering, and has become a known and respected brand within the world of power. We take pride in keeping the power industry informed and telling our viewers about the exciting stories, people, and companies that are moving the industry forward. This is your opportunity to reach the ideal audience and to make sure your message is heard. I've been speaking with Bill Newsom today about Mitsubishi's J-Series gas turbine, the M501J. There is limited time available to schedule your PowerGen interview, so please don't put off locking in what could be your best marketing investment of the year. I'm Cassie Haley. I look forward to speaking with you at PowerGen International. Welcome back. Elizabeth Ingram is the managing editor of Hydro Review and HRW Hydro Review Worldwide. She recently joined me in the studio to discuss hydro workforce issues. Here's today's Inside the Industry. Welcome to Inside the Industry. We're back in the hydropower world today with Elizabeth Ingram. Thanks for joining us. And we're talking about some of the workforce issues facing the hydropower world today, correct?
Yes. You'll hear a lot of people talking about what they're calling the silver tsunami, which is this wave of retirements that are coming down the pike in the hydropower industry. And the issue that we're facing is, where are the people going to come from to replace these retiring workers? The U.S. Department of Energy in their hydropower vision released some numbers to kind of quantify the workforce in the U.S. And they said that 143,000 jobs were supported by hydropower in the U.S. in 2013. Nearly 25,000 are from construction and rehabilitation and upgrades. So that's kind of the size of the workforce. But at the same time, they said that more than the average of these workers are above 45 years old. So we were looking at a lot of people who are planning to retire. And in fact, Washington State University released a study in 2014 that said 60% of the electric power workforce in the Pacific Northwest, which is where they focused their study, is 45 or older, and 17% of those are expected to retire by 2018.
Wow, those are incredible numbers.
So there's going to be a big gap in the workforce. And hydropower is not that sexy of a power generation technology. So engineers who are interested are looking at wind, they're looking at solar. If they're looking at renewables, they're thinking of those as kind of the hot technologies. So it's a challenge to get people who are going to be the future workforce interested in, understanding, and wanting to work in hydropower.
Why do you think that is, Elizabeth?
I think it's because hydropower technology, conventional hydropower, is so well established. So a lot of the technology that we're using, the Pelton turbines, the Kaplan turbines, have been around for more than 100 years. So people aren't seeing a lot of major technology advancements in this field, whereas we're always hearing about wind and solar and the technology advancements that they're having. And I think also, in addition, it's kind of a question of whether in the education programs, if anybody's really talking to the students about hydropower. You know, if you're going to be an engineer, what are they talking to you about? Is it hydropower, or is it nuclear? Is it, infrastructure? What kind of infrastructure? Is it dams, or is it bridges and roadways and things like that? So,
well, where do you see that next generation of hydro professionals coming from then?
I think, luckily, the hydropower industry has recognized that this is going to be an issue that they need to address. So there are actually several groups that are working to figure out where this next generation of employees is going to come from.
That's good.
So, for example, the Hydro Research Foundation here in the U.S. has a focus on educating the next generation of hydropower engineers. They have a Hydro Fellows program where they actually support research and support students getting into the hydropower industry. And they're actually having a Hiring for Hydro event next February in Portland to help make these connections for people who may be interested in hydro who may not know that much about it. And additionally, we have our Water Power Hydro Basics course at Hydrovision International, which is always a popular program. And that program is intended to help people who are new to hydro kind of get up to speed more quickly. And we have a really good attendance at that program. It's a 1.5-day really intensive course that kind of takes you through all the ins and outs of hydropower in a short period of time.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. And some other groups like the Foundation for Water and Energy Education. Just last year, they established a Hydropower and STEM Academy with the Chelan County Public Utility District to educate high school students. And these students can apply to come to this academy. They come for a week and they learn all about hydropower and how that might be something that they want to pursue as a career in college, engineering, with a focus on maybe working in a hydropower facility. So there are quite a few programs available in the U.S. in particular to help do that.
Okay, so here in the U.S., those efforts are being made, but there's a lot of new hydro going around globally. We've talked before. Are there efforts being made there, or what kind of issues are they facing in the workforce?
Absolutely. I think in a lot of the developed countries where hydropower has been around for a long time, the issues they face are similar to what we're facing here in the U.S. There are some differences, of course, and in Canada, for example, there's a big focus on getting local Aboriginal people involved in hydropower. So the Ontario Water Power Association has a program called Aboriginal Access to Engineering to help Aboriginals get more education on that topic. So that's an example. But there's also the challenge in developing countries where they're building new hydro, so maybe it is not so established, that they have their own kind of workforce issues. And what they're facing is really this lack of training locally for people to work at hydropower facilities. So if you're coming in and you're building a hydropower facility, for example, in Laos, and you want to hire local people, first they have to be trained. So the government of Laos and General Electric, as one example, recently established a joint research and training program to do just that in Laos to help support hydro development in that country. And that's a focus that we're seeing as well in more developing countries to get the local people educated and get them interested in hydropower as a career as well.
As always, Elizabeth, you've been very informative. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And be sure and join us tomorrow when we talk power engineering with Russell Ray on Inside the Industry. That's going to wrap things up for us on Power Today. Power Generation Week 2016 in Orlando, Florida is just days away. If you haven't already registered, there is still time to do so at www.power-gen.com. We look forward to seeing you there. For everyone at Power Today, have a great day. Join us again tomorrow at noon, 11 Central.